peak. Let me tell you why. There's gonna be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't watched the movie, go watch that first. I watched this movie yesterday at the cinemas with a friend of mine, and wow, what an amazing experience. If I tell you this movie is good, I'm not glazing. Like, it was so amazingly done. I'm not gonna be giving a rating if that's what you're looking for, because I don't think a rating really captures how you experience the movie in its own. So yeah, don't expect me to give a rating. I'm just here to like talk in my words of how I experienced it for the first time. So the first half of the movie shows us getting introduced to Reze, her dynamic with Denji and stuff, which we've seen this dynamic with other girls before, but not quite this way. What immediately struck me upon watching the movie was the cinematography. Like, it was like animated, like it was filmed like a real movie. I don't know if that's how you explain it, but it was like shot like a real movie. We get this amazing emotional build up, because why I use emotional, I'm of course gonna bring up the pool scene, because the pool scene has been stuck in my head for days, and not because of the reason you think, but it was so like well done. Especially, first off, I'm gonna say the music in this movie was an absolute 10 out of 10. Like, the instrumental was so beautifully done, especially that's why it's been stuck in my head. At the in the pool scene, like the animation was so beautiful. You really felt in that moment like, you're happy for Denji. He's having a really fun time. So we see this like this shot, right, of the villain almost who Reze meets on the rooftop. This is also where the cinema. This is also where the cinema. This is also where the cinema. This is also where the cinematography. Oh, this is also where the cinematography. Whoa! Because like this is also where the cinematography comes into play. We get this new shot of the villain, and it's almost like a horror movie. Almost like it actually like creeped me out. So then we get the in the pool scene. Fast forward, blah blah blah. The first half is just building up the relation. We get the festival with, again, amazing soundtrack, amazing visuals, definitely. From the trailers and stuff, I kind of expected Reze to not be who we thought she would be. We get to the shot where they're watching the fireworks, and suddenly, they're talking about running away, which is, I'm still debated on this. Please let me know in the comments down below if, like, Reze was actually honest in this scene, if she actually wanted to run away with him, because I still don't know. Reze talks about running away, and I'm gonna give two takes now. My personal opinion, I think she was being honest in this scene, because she talked about running away with him, maybe from also like what she needs to do, and him from what he needs to do, because he hasn't had a normal childhood. So we get this pretty emotional scene, and they go in for a kiss, pretty emotional. But then from that point onward, the whole movie flips. She freaking bites his tongue off. We get a shot of that, like, whoa. Like, I was actually like surprised the way they did the switch up. They had to reveal somehow that she is, not really the good guy. Onwards from that scene, it's just action, action, action. Like, it went absolutely crazy. So now we're gonna talk second half. She bites his tongue off. Shark comes in. Beam, the absolute goat of the movie, carried the whole second part. So Beam strikes in. Bomb Devil goes on a rampage. She murders the random guys, the private investigators. She then kills almost the whole second division. Then they get into this absolute huge fight with, the Typhoon Devil, Reze, Aki, Angel Devil, and Beam. So they keep fighting. They're fighting. The animation is glorious at this moment, like beautifully done. Denji gets obliterated multiple times by Reze. Then there's a little break, and actually funny moment, like Chainsaw gets on Beam and he starts riding for the whole second part, which is absolutely insane. So then we have like the second part of the fight, and like I was in the cinema, and I was just looking and was like, actually, like, it kept going, action, action, animation getting better. I was like actually like this in my seat. So the fight keeps going, Typhoon and blah blah blah, they keep fighting everybody. The Angel Devil and Aki, which I'm curious where that leads. Because if you touch him, you lose a part of your lifespan. It builds up to, again, a reference to Into the Pool. He takes her into the water where she's not strong enough to actually, you know, actually fight back. Then we get the shot at the beach with the OST playing with In the Sea, I think. And wow. You know what I thought was amazing, like that scene, like Denji let her go. We don't know actually at this point if she actually liked him. Well, actually she says she didn't. So he says, I'll meet you at the cafe. Which shows Denji kind of still has trust, you know, in love. And then we get to the finale. I'm just gonna talk about, you know, how I felt through the final. We see Reze kind of running towards Denji where he is. Kind of like she's running towards freedom, which is very bittersweet because of what happens in the alley. Because when Makima popped up on the screen, I was thinking, no, no, no. Also, a fun fact which I actually saw. First time that Reze was walking to the cafe, the first shot was, she was walking like this, like actually like a soldier. But when she was running towards Denji, she was like running freely. You know, she didn't have a certain walk that she was going for. Like she was just running. She wanted to get there as fast as possible. It just couldn't end on a happy note. Boom, Reze gone. We get this shot of Denji, you know, in kind of a funny way sitting at the cafe. But, you know, I think that's really a turning point for my boy Denji. Because, you know, he still had some hope that maybe she would arrive, but she didn't. Which basically even traps him more in, you know, the palm of Makima's hands. Which I also found really interesting was the city mouse or the country mouse. Makima using rats at the end. It's just crazy. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk now about some things I really loved in this movie. First off, the spider dangling up the butterfly was so good. Because you can see that in two ways. One, Reze, of course, getting Genji in her grasp, like fully believing her. Or Reze actually kind of falling in love with Denji even though she doesn't want to. Two meanings, which is just both are so amazing. And then we get the final quote of Reze, I never went to school either. Revealing, you know, she's also had a very tough childhood. Probably also has been raised to be a weapon. Which just sucks, you know, because there is just a high chance she just wanted to get away from it all at the end. She wanted to get away from it all. I believe in that. With Denji as well. They're both weapons from childhood, grown up to just destroy stuff, even though they just want to be normal kids and go to school. So yeah, this movie was just like I've had the soundtrack Iris out on repeat. I've had Into the Pool on my earbuds, you know, actually just, you know, I want to think back on that scene because it was so amazingly done. So yeah, my review, an amazing movie with great animation, great voice acting, and a great soundtrack. And I absolutely loved it. It's been stuck in my head for days as well, even though I've just watched it like a day or two ago. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick review because I've never done a review before, but I really wanted to do a review for this movie because it really hit close to home. And I just want to, you know, end this review by saying, I guess this was my 1 out of 10 movie.